We are working on the 79 Corvette, and this time we're focusing on the interior. Now previously I put in a new carpet kit, got some new seats with foam on it, and new door panels. Things I haven't done is like the armrests. I cleaned them up a little bit. The trim pieces here cleaned up a little bit. You know, this stuff, it's basically, it's not new, it's not very nice. Same over there. The dash, as you can see, is pretty cracked up, and I have not actually cleaned the dash at all. Same with the trim here. We recovered the steering wheel, which I'm happy with, but the steering column needs some love, and this is a little orange. It's seen some better days. But in this video, we're going to pay attention to the rear side. If you see this trim, that's the black is flaking off of it. My goal is to take this all apart and give it a nice coat of paint or dye, whatever we use, and get it looking good once again. Now in order to pull this off, this is an old car. These are all Phillips screws. You need a good screwdriver, otherwise you're going to strip it. Now luckily these three for this little corner piece are coming out no problem. But in the past, I already know these ones here are all stripped, so when I try this one, I'm going to have some fun getting these screws out. Now on the passenger side, same thing, the 3 screws here came out, 1 screw came out here, and then there's no more screws holding this in. There's supposed to be, but it only had 1 on each edge. But this just lifts off, and now this whole thing is loose, and now I'm gonna see how I can fish it out of here. Okay, that slid out not too bad. And now we can completely remove this and get to cleaning. So starting with the little pieces, just hit it with some water, sprayed some degreaser on it, and then we're gonna use Scotch-Brite to scuff it off. So watch what happens when I spray this with water. The paint is just kind of falling and flaking off. And just with that, you can see it's just pulling the paint off. I wonder if this was originally oyster color. Maybe I should check, because I plan on repainting it black, but if it looks better oyster, maybe I'll do that. I don't know. Kind of sold on black though. Now for the big one, I'm pulling off this piece here. Not quite sure what that's for. I'm sure I'll find out. And then these two metal tabs, this is just to give some thread. There was one on the other end. Gonna pull both of these off, and then this is just an all plastic or whatever material this piece is. Then we'll spray some of this on. See it already changing color. This stuff is just nasty. And then I'll take my pad and just start getting at it. I imagine this is gonna flake off pretty good. We don't need to flake all of it off, we just need to get whatever is flaky off. That way the only stuff left is the stuff that actually has a bond still. And then we can paint over that. Okay, so just a light pass like that, rinse it off. And you can see the difference already. This is more that white color, and this is just flaky black on top of it. This is definitely more of a gritty feel. This is a little bit smoother, but it still has the texture that we're looking for. So again, I don't know if these are supposed to be white from the factory. I'll look it up, but I think we're gonna go with black. So we'll just keep working on this and get this fully stripped down. So we're gonna start with the 2 little pieces to make sure everything looks good and applies well. Started with some panel prep, wiped it off, and it's a few minutes. Now we're gonna use this plastic adhesion promoter. Now this stuff isn't actually necessary. Apparently
if you're using the right stuff, like the dye, then it has the plastic stuff built into it. Or if you're using plastic paint, you know, it should have that adhesion promoter built into it. But we're going to play it safe. We just applied one coat. We'll do one more coat in 3 minutes, and then we'll go with the top layer. Okay, now we're ready for paint. So I'm going to use this duple-colored trim and bumper paint. This has that flexible adhesion stuff in it, but you know, we did just use that other layer just to be safe. But now I'm just going to do very, very light coats, just skim coats. So something like that. Just very light. Gonna do that honestly probably 3 or 4 times. Just keep it very, very light coats. The adhesive promoter has dried. Let's spray this now. Just gonna do light coats once again. So that's good for a light first coat. These pieces have finally dried. They are good to go. And they came out pretty good. They still have that texture to them. This big piece probably could have done a bit of a better job roughing it up. We can see a little bit of some unevenness in here. And then there's a tiny bit back here, if you can tell. But for the most part, this looks like a ready to go trim piece, and the color is pretty good actually. So this should fit back there. This is going to tuck in the way back of the Corvette, and I'll have that privacy cover in front of it. You'll hardly even be able to notice this, but I think this looks pretty good for just some cheap paint. Now I still have a few more things I need to take care of before I can reinstall this, so I'm going to end the video here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.